Jason Birchard is a third-generation owner-proprietor of Veselka, New York City, an authentic Ukrainian culinary experience that has been operating since the 1950s when his grandparents immigrated from World War II Europe. Through its 69 years, Veselka has seen so much change, but no more than right now. A staple of the community, Jason has grasped media, both traditional and new ideas like being a guest today, to keep Veselka and its cuisine accessible to everyone. Now let's get to business. I am so pleased to have Jason Birchard, who is the third generation proprietor of Veselka restaurant in Manhattan, New York City. On the east side, are you?
Lower East Side.
All right, that's where we're calling from. Jason, thank you so much for being here with me. Now, let's go into Veselka, the restaurant, because you have been doing some amazing things lately. You've been catching the eye of so many different people, the news, the media. You've been everywhere. Tell us how Veselka started.
So we're celebrating our 69th year this year. Veselka was started by my grandfather, Volodymyr Domarkov. He was a Ukrainian immigrant that arrived in the States in the late 1940s, unfortunately, due to Russian oppression, which we're undergoing again now with the current conflict. He was a proud Ukrainian patriot. He arrived originally into Baltimore and then migrated to the New York area in the early 1950s. He was a proud member of an organization called Pulsed, which is a Ukrainian scout organization. He's one of the founding members of the New York Charter. And we are currently located in the same location of where Pulsed holds their regular meetings. This building, the landlord is still Pulsed organization. And my grandfather was influential in helping set up that New York chapter. And they had asked somebody to help feed the scouts. If you're not familiar with what Pulsed is, it's a Ukrainian scout organization that teaches everything here in the States, everything from English, Ukrainian language to scouting skills, which are basically survival skills. And it's not specific to only young men, but young women are permitted to join. It's like the version of the American Boy Scouts, but it's co-ed. So it started as a small little candy store newsstand, and it has morphed into now pre-COVID, a 24-hour staple here in the Lower East Side, serving Ukrainian comfort food, or what we call Ukrainian soul food.
Yes, Ukrainian soul food is amazing. And it's so amazing how you said that about how your grandparents came from Baltimore, because mine also came through Baltimore. And then it seemed like everybody did the same thing. You came through Baltimore and then you kind of spread out and you guys went up to New York. We settled in Philadelphia. So it's absolutely amazing how the Ukrainian culture has come in the same way. And like I said, has spread out from all along the East Coast. And now it's moving inward towards the West. And through financial problems in New York City, and, you open locations, you close locations, but you've always been that staple there.
So yes, Veselka has gone through many transformations and dealt with many different crises, from 9/11, Superstorm Sandy, the pandemic. We branched off 10 years ago to try to open another version of Veselka with a full bar and so forth, and it did not pan out. But we've done different markets and holiday markets and pop-ups. We currently have a second location called Veselka Essex, which is a quick serve model, or a QSR model, which is in a food hall that serves some of our top items like borscht and pierogies, or vareniki, as we call them. And we have plans to expand. Veselka has gone through many transformations due to a variety of different things that have happened, 9/11, Superstorm Sandy, the pandemic. You know, we've done other ventures. Some have done well, some have not. But at the end of the day, we have a bright future, and we're planning to open another new location in Grand Central Station, a QSR model, and we just signed a lease to open a grand space to what we call a commissary kitchen that will help feed any future projects of the QSR model that we think has a lot of potential here in New York and maybe down in Philadelphia or any other towns in the Northeast that have large Ukrainian communities. We're very thankful for everybody that's come out and continue to support.
Yeah. Well, like, you're so community oriented. Do you see this as a new beginning with the new restaurants to remain community oriented and catch more headlines, which you've been doing?
You know, I've been very humble from the beginning, from my upbringing. You know, I always thought Veselka is a family business here in the Lower East Side, not have the idea of the effects that it has had. I think the pandemic brought that to light when we weren't able to open for indoor dining. You know, I had partnered with a third party website called Goldbelly, which you can buy everything and anything from anywhere across the country. The popularity of, you know, people wanting to order borscht and matzo ball soup and pierogies and so forth, as far away as Alaska and Hawaii to Florida and Texas, that really helped me survive the pandemic. And knowing that there's a lot of love, Veselka love across the country. But growing up here in the business, my father has always been an advocate of helping and being community oriented and helping small theater, having a close relationship with our local police and fire departments and so forth and so on. So we will continue to do that through a variety of different efforts that we do. I mean, I've been very outspoken and tried to help raise awareness for different causes since the war has broken out. You know, World Central Kitchen, as to name one of many that I've helped raise funds for.
Now, with the war breaking out and some people not understanding what is actually going on, have you gotten any backlash, especially lately?
You know, everybody here in the New York area, I think, have been very open and understanding of what's happening. I mean, I know that early on, we've had press from all around the world come to find our little enclave here of little Ukraine here in New York City. And one of the first, there was a period of time where the press was asking, well, how do you feel about the Russian businesses that were suffering because of their alliance or relationships or their verbiage and their titles of their businesses? And I said, listen, I have nothing against those businesses per se. I hope that they survive this. Politically, I think there's been some talk on the Republican side stating that they want to curb the amount of monies that are being sent to help the military. I've had one incident, isolated incident, that somebody spray painted a red Z on one of my outdoor barricades that we quickly, painted over. But otherwise, we've been very fortunate that I haven't had any incidents against what we're doing.
Good. That's great to hear, because there's just a lot of hate going around. We don't need any more of that.
Yeah.
We do not need
Agreed.
any more of that. Now let's get back to a better subject. You've won a lot of awards. You've had a lot of famous faces come to your dining locations. Does it ever get old to see like somebody's famous come in there and say, I love your pierogies, I love your borscht? Hopefully you're selling some holopsi also.
Yes, of course. I'm humbled. Honestly, there are a lot of businesses that you see take pictures with the celebrities and post them on their walls. I've always been of the belief that I think a lot of people, celebrity-wise, come here because they know that we don't do that. I tried to interact and thank them for their patronage, and I think they continue to come back because of the quality and the consistency and just home, the Ukrainian home cooking that everybody gravitates to and enjoys. So that being said, I'm very humble for all the awards and the invites for different shows. But what brought the most, what I'm thinking, the best just recently, and unfortunately we didn't make it to the finals, but we were not only nominated, but we were a semifinalist to have a James Beard Award, which is a pretty prestigious award in the restaurant business. It's the top 1% of businesses across the country.
It is.
And typically it's not for places of my stature. I mean, it's usually the top end people doing something very creative with food, but to be even nominated and to make it to semifinalists, it was a very proud moment for me. My father had been in the business, who had just retired right before COVID, always strived, always wanted to be recognized for his years of service and to able to follow in his footsteps and then be nominated. I think it was more not only about the consistency, but we had raised a lot of money from, we served Ukrainian borscht here, and I had earmarked since the beginning of the war all the sales of our borscht, whether you ate it here for delivery, or takeout, or what we sold on Goldbelly, I was earmarking for Ukrainian relief efforts. So, and a lot of businesses, I don't know, weren't doing it, have done their share, but I was very specific on doing that. I think they recognize that. But anyway,
well, congratulations on that.
I, not being a finalist is a little discouraging, but it's not going to discourage me to continue to advocate for Ukraine, because obviously they need our help.
Absolutely. And just being nominated is a very big thing with the James Beard Award. It's a very big thing. And that also, you were a guest judge on Beat Bobby Flay. How has being in the media has brought Veselka a lot of attention?
You know what? I just finished recording a couple of weeks ago. It was my 6th appearance as a judge. I'm very honored and humbled to be on there, and I think that only puts our name out there a little bit more as a recognizable or as a voice in this industry. A great opportunity to meet other people who are in this industry that are doing great things. Again, humbled, honored, and just continue to enjoy the moment.
Well, it's also being a representative of having our cultural food out there, which you don't see much of. And our cultural food is actually very healthy also,
Agreed. Actually, there's just I hope I would like to invite everybody. There's a new Hulu, a show on Hulu called Taste of the Nation, hosted by Padma Lakshmi.
Yes.
And she did a whole episode, and it just came out this past week or two. And she did a whole special about borscht in this whole neighborhood here. And she touched base. Yeah, a good watch.
Yes, definitely. I will definitely tell everybody to watch that one, because I've heard a few things about that show. So we're adding you to the list, and we'll tell everybody to watch it on Hulu. What do you see for the future of Veselka?
I'm very hopeful. I mean, we've this New York City, as well as the country, has gone through, it goes through cycles. We've seen the worst of the worst with the pandemic, and I'll always try to stay. I'm a visionary of seeing the glass half full, not half empty. And I'm hopeful that the city will rebound. And I'm investing in the brand and in Veselka and opening other locations and hoping to increase my nationwide shipping, that everybody can get a taste of our handmade vareniki and borscht. And I'm just, I'm investing in the future and investing in Veselka, and, always a dream of mine to, contemplate franchising, but I'm going to keep it small here for now and do what I can best in the New York area. And then we'll build on it from there.
Well, with Goldbelly, you can, this shipping to, where's the furthest you ship to?
So, but that's a good point. So I had a long-term relationship with them, but I have a cousin that has joined me on the Veselka team here who has some IT and experience, and we've switched now just recently to do all our shipping through our own website. So we got away from Goldbelly because as much as Goldbelly helped promote me and keep me afloat during the pandemic, they took a large percentage of my bottom line.
Right.
I'm able to offer, and it was very archaic in the terms of if I wanted to do a special for Mother's Day, I would have to give them 3 months lead time to decide that's here up through our website directly. I can amend and update things on a daily basis. So I've shipped, as you were saying, as far away as Alaska to Texas to Florida, wherever there's a New York contingent or somebody that has craving Ukrainian soul food, I'll send it.
That's amazing. Now, where can everybody find your website, find you on social media? Where can everybody find you?
So on our website, it's very simple, www.veselka.com. Our social media tags are Veselka NYC. That's on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, at Veselka NYC. You can find all of our information there.
Now, you're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
TikTok.
That's
the
you're
new.
even
That's
on there
the new.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I will tag everything in this video and on the podcast itself. So we want everybody to visit the website, and if they can't even make it to the restaurant, they can order it online. Jason, thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it. I'm Tatiana Ryan. This is the Businessy Podcast.